TNTM the Show presents Comicast 348 with your host, Pablo Gunner. And I am here to talk nerdy to you about this week's comics, which is July 25th. And I'm also going to talk nerdy to you about San Diego Comic-Con, because I feel like it and I want to. So that's what's going on. So I'm going to talk about that stuff first, okay? And first of all, I'm just going to go off the list I have here. So San Diego Comic-Con, here's some of the stuff that was released, the biggest stuff at least. There's the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Now, this movie, I thought it was going to be something fresh, something new. And mind you, I love Broly. I think Broly's fantastic. I liked, well, I won't say I liked all of the Broly movies, but like the first one and the second one, I liked him. I think I liked the second one better. The first one, I didn't like the way they did Vegeta because Vegeta was not himself. He was like afraid and he was a coward. And he was just, I mean, I guess he's kind of been kind of like that sometimes. Like, obviously he worked for Frieza. So there was that whole thing. And he kind of switched sides back and forth during the Frieza saga. But you know, like he was just like, he really wussed out in the movie. So, and then the second one was cool because I think he fought Gohan, I want to say. And so that was pretty legit. But the third one was just garbage. And so this, they're like, oh, it's a brand new movie with a brand new villain, a brand new Saiyan. And it's like, nah, it's Broly. Like, y'all have done this before. He just looks better. And it looks more interesting. Like, it just looks like they're redoing the first movie, but making it better for Dragon Ball Super, not for Dragon Ball Z. And I like it, but it bugs me at the same time because you're telling me it's something new and it's not. And I kind of feel like that's more about the guy that created it and says, F all that other stuff, that's not canon. This is canon. So he's new to me. I'm putting him out for the first time. So it's new. It's not new, okay, guy? Like, you're not new. Like, that's not new. You know, you're just redoing something that's already been done, okay? Somebody else did it. It wasn't you, and you're pissed off about it. Whatever, who cares? But if at least you're like Broly done right, you know, like Broly now in canon, if you did it, the way that they advertised the movie just seemed not right. Now, I will say, like, a lot of the characters, Vegeta included, done better. Like I said, all the characters seem like they're done better. I'm really interested. At the same time, I'm going, why is Broly a threat when we have Goku who knows Ultra Instinct? And we have Vegeta who knows Ultra Blue? You know, like, why is this a threat? I mean, yeah, we'll find out. That's what the movie's going to be about. But it seems like too little, too late. Now, I hope they bring back a whole new era of Saiyans because I felt like the original Saiyan saga was kind of underwhelming and they could have done a lot more with it than what they did. So that would be interesting to see something like that maybe, or bring that back in. But also I want to see Dragon Ball Super come back and see more of them jumping around to other universes, like Vegeta going to Cabba's universe and going to his planet and maybe even training those Saiyans, you know, maybe even becoming King Vegeta there. I don't know. That would be freaking sick, you know? So I don't know. But it's very interesting to me, that stuff, you know, the Saiyan legacy, you know, the Saiyan pride, the Saiyan race, that's the stuff that's interesting to me. And of course, there's only a few left in the main one. So there was also a Spider-Man PS4 story trailer. So that one seems pretty cool. Seems pretty interesting. Like Silver Sable's going after him, but like all the villains have broken out and all the villains are wreaking havoc. And apparently he needs the help from all the superheroes that are spider powered, because there's Miles and there's other ones, I think, too. So that seems pretty cool. There was also Clone Wars Returns. Now, I'm one of those people who's like, Clone Wars is good, but it's overrated considering how much people love it. I think it's hugely overrated. Now, the dark side stuff that they were going into, like when Anakin does like when they start seeing him like go down that path of the dark side and like doing the Force choke, that was the most interesting stuff. And of course, the Brotherhood of the clones and stuff, that's cool too. But I just feel like it was highly overrated. Here's the biggest disappointment of the weekend, and it was really not something that was announced, but it was announced during that weekend, and it was a huge disappointment, which was James Gunn was fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He's not going to be doing it. He's not with Disney anymore. And JD actually mentioned, he said, well, I hope that DC picks him up, Warner Brothers picks him up, and they hire him to do Green Lanterns, because I'm like, Green Lantern's ensemble cast. This is an ensemble cast. He could definitely knock it out. I would love to see that. I would love to see him at the helm doing that, going, hey, Disney, you fired me for, because essentially what happened is he had tweeted some texts. They were pretty distasteful, and it was essentially kind of like making fun of pedophilia, but it was in context. He was making fun of, what he was doing is he was making fun of it, but he was making fun of somebody through it. So it was a messed up way to go about it and a dumb way to go about it. But to me, I go like, you know what, Disney, if you didn't know this stuff existed before and you wait until someone unburied it and then showed you, that's not the way. But I hear it's deeper than that. It's political, and there's other things going on here. And it's just kind of like this, like, I'm all for the hashtag Me Too movement, but I will say this is one of those places where like it's a backlash thing, and it's stupid. And so we'll see where it goes with that. I don't know. It just seems really stupid of an idea for Disney to do that. One guy from work, though, he was like, well, they just could get Taika Waititi to do it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I could see him pulling off Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, and being able to, because it was similar to Thor Ragnarok. Like the humor was similar, different, but similar. And so I could see them pulling that off. James Gunn being also the writer and director, it's not going to be the same movie. And I know even the actors, they're standing, from what I've heard and what I feel like is they're standing with James Gunn on this. It seems a really stupid decision on Disney's part. And I kind of hope that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 fails just because they did that. Because I think it was a stupid decision of theirs to make. So now there's also the Glass trailer, which is crazy because it's like a crossover. So it's Unbreakable, Split, crossover type thing, and it's crazy and it looks insane, and I'm like, wow. It's just, I'm really interested for that, because it's like, it's not a superhero movie or trilogy, but it kind of is in a dark, twisted way. So it's interesting. Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's not superhero, but more like a villain really than anything else. But yeah, that one looks interesting for sure. I also heard Iron Fist Season 2 comes out September 7th. I'm looking forward to that. I heard that they got the choreographer from Black Panther. So to me, that's a good and a bad, because it needed to be improved upon. But at the same time, I didn't really like the action in Black Panther because I didn't really notice the moves. It was really super fast paced, and therefore it just was like, okay, it's cool for being cool, but it's not. I don't know what's going on. And then there's a Walking Dead trailer for the new season. I've dropped off of Walking Dead. I might catch up on it if I ever have the time. So, but yeah, I didn't watch it. I did watch the Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, and I'll say that looks awesome. And to be honest, I haven't even seen the other Fantastic Beasts movie, but this one interests me a lot. It looks really, really cool. I really want to see this one. Then there was Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and that one looks really legit. I really liked the Godzilla movie. I thought it was really awesome, and I'm looking forward to Godzilla, King of the Monsters, because it's Godzilla, more monsters. I don't know how you could be disappointed unless they add way too much human stuff, which they do have to add human stuff just to connect dots, but beyond that, they don't. And that's what it seems like. They're toning it down a little bit and turning up the monsters. So I'm all for that. Mayans comes out September 4th. I've seen some of Sons of Anarchy. I liked it, but I was always more interested in the Mayans, honestly. So, and yeah. Then there's Cutthroat City, which is a RZA movie. Just wanted to throw that out there. There's Aquaman. There's the Aquaman trailer. Now, I like Aquaman. He is probably my favorite DC. He is my favorite DC hero, I'm going to say. And mostly because just of his background and stuff like that. And I really like what they did with him in the Justice League movie because they made him different. They added him he's not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy anymore. You know, he doesn't just look like a Caucasian fella. He has some color to him. You know, he has dark hair. And so I was like, cool, this is awesome. Now, I just love how like dark-haired people or darker-skinned people now have more characters to relate to and can dress as and cosplay as, because there hasn't been that many. It's blonde hair and blue eyes for the longest time. And hey, I love blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm not going to, you know, but I also want characters that I can cosplay as well as relate to. So, and I know I'm not no big Aquaman, what's his name, guy, but you know, I still was looking forward to it. And I will say, like, I like the guy and I like the character, what they've done with him and stuff. And it seems like an interesting story, but at the same time, it looks like it's just going to be a CGI movie. And that's disappointing to me because look at Star Wars prequels. Those movies were garbage. And that was a large part of that. Mind you, it was because of George Lucas's bad directing and somewhat writing. But I don't like CGI hardcore movies or shows. I don't like it. So, and I think that's what it's going to be. I want it to be good. I really do. And I'm going to see it. Because I want it to be good. I hope it's good. I really do. But I don't think it's going to be. Now, one movie that I do think is going to be good, and it looks good, Shazam. Because that looks like it keeps to the origins of the comics and everything like that. Now, I'm not a hardcore Shazam guy or Captain Marvel, if you want to say, but I did read the new 52 version. I read all of that, and that stuff was top notch. That stuff was really, really good, and I loved that series. I think it was Jeff Johns and Gary Frank that did that, and so that's top notch. If you don't know Shazam, read it. That's a really good series. That's what you should check out. And that's what this seems like. It's pulled almost exactly from what it seemed like. And I really, really dug that. Now, I feel like some people are complaining because they're like, oh, it's too lighthearted. It seems too much like Marvel. And that's why I like DC, because it's darker. Well, guess what? I don't really work for DC, for one. And two, this is a different movie, so why can't it be different? And that is how Shazam is. It's going to be lighthearted because, hey, he's a kid in a man's body and Superman's body, essentially. So yeah, it's going to be different. That, and there was this other thing the wife shared with me. It was the Black Cat trailer. It was for Netflix. And oh my God, that was probably the thing that looked the best to me the entire weekend. It looks phenomenal. That's something I think that flew under the radar too. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. If I have the time or I remember, I'll throw it up as a link on the website. And so people can check it out if I remember. So that was that. So yeah, I don't know. It's funny because people are like, who won San Diego Comic-Con? I think it was DC. I don't think there's winning and losing in these things. I mean, there's winning. You have to wait until the movies come out. You have to wait until the shows come out. Then if it's good, the winner is the recipient of that viewership. You know what I mean? Like if you received it well and you liked it, hey, I'm the winner. If I go see Aquaman and I liked it, I'm the winner there. But if I go and see it and it sucks, I'm not the winner. So how can DC be the winner? We don't even know if Aquaman's gonna be good. We don't know if Shazam's gonna be good. We don't know if any of this stuff's gonna be, because of course there's also the trailers for all the DC CW shows. I didn't watch because I'm behind on. Sorry. But whatever. I don't think that great. There's other shows that I think that are better, that are on top of my priority list, like Legion, which I just finished and is absolutely brilliant and phenomenal and mind-blowing. And not just comic book people should get into it, but everybody should be into it because that's how good it is. So I'm also watching Krypton, which it's okay, and other stuff. But anyways, so yeah, I'm not like, oh, there's no winner, there's no loser. To me, it is what it is. So that's that for that, pretty much. Yeah, I did see some other stuff like Venom. There's some, not Venom, but like there's, you catch some panels, clips here and there. And it seems like they want Venom to do so well that Marvel will do a crossover with them where it'll be like a face-off crossover where it's going to be like Spider-Man versus Venom, which doesn't make sense because, well, unless they do the backstory first. You know, and that's the thing is like it depends on where this fits in the timeline with Spider-Man and how they do that, because it seems like they're not working that in. They're just going, this alien thing landed and it's going to end up with Eddie Brock and Eddie Brock's going to use it. So that's what it seems like, which is weird that you would cut out the middleman, a big part of the origin of Venom, which is Spider-Man. So yeah, we'll see. But I think that's enough about that. I'm going to go ahead and get into these comics. So here at TNTM the show on the Comicast, we have a grade scale 4 comics, which is buy, skim, pass, strong buy, weak buy, strong skim, weak skim, pass is pass. Best book of the week is the B-Bow, put in the nice back and bagging I have over here. And then we also have the runner-up to the B-Bow. And I will also say contender. So like, hey, this is a contender. And I might say, hey, this is a contender for runner-up, or this is a contender for B-Bow. So that's essentially what's going down. And spoiler alert, because I'm reviewing these books, I'm going to try to keep it down to a minute for each review. I'm going to try to do faster than that, but I'm going to put my timer on just so that I don't go over the 2 minute. I mean, go over the minute. Once the minute timer goes off, it's time for me to give my grade. I need to shut up, just give my grade and my reasons why, if I didn't already mention them. So that's that. So that's what I'm going to do going into this. I am going to start with a book, which is, it's actually a graphic novel. So this book just came out this week, which is Batman, volume number 6. It is Bride or Burglar, and I don't know which ones it collects, issues 38 through 44, and it's essentially it's like part 2 of 3, I think, of the whole Batman Catwoman romance wedding lead up thing. So it's not all the side stuff, you know, it's not the prelude to the wedding stuff, but it's just the Batman title stuff. Like I said, 38 through 44. And it's really solid. In fact, like the first one, it's just a detective story where this kid with wants to be Bruce Wayne. Then we have this other thing called Super Friends, where it's a story where it's Batman and Wonder Woman. They go to this other dimension. They trade places with this other guy, and he's just been fighting this relentless horde of creatures, and he spends a day and they trade. But there in that world, like one day or like 1 hour is like one day or something like that. So they're in there for like 50 years, but they don't age. And so Catwoman's like, okay, I got to take you back. And then there's like where Poison Ivy took over the world, and she does it through all the food that people eat because it's mostly greens and stuff. And you know how Batman and Catwoman face off against her and figure out like what's going on with her and stuff like that. And then and then it's pretty much like she steals a dress. And it's them, like their history, the dates that they've had throughout their past. It's a really solid book. It's really great. It's really interesting. Here's the thing. I love reading graphic novels, especially because we just had the wedding in issues. And now I wish I read farther back to the beginning. But you can tell that there's hints of the conclusion there's some foreshadowing of the conclusion of the wedding, even in this graphic novel. I can sense it. I can read it. It comes out of the page. And so therefore I kind of feel like it is somewhat justified the way that they did it. So I think it looks beautiful. It's really awesome. It stands really well on its own for sure. Even though like there is an overall arc, and it's definitely the Catwoman Batman stuff, but there's other stuff too. And these are kind of good, like random stories in here too. But like I said, there's still that arc in there. So there is a connecting thread, but they're also kind of random as well. But they're like 1 issue and then like 2 issue stories and like another 2 issue stories. And it's really great. So I can give this one. Ooh, what is this one? I can for graphic novels, as far as graphic novels go, I'm gonna say that this is a strong buy. It looks phenomenal. It was definitely worth rereading, and like I said, you get some foreshadowing stuff. So yeah. And here's the thing, I will eventually give this away. So once we reach more subscribers on YouTube or more viewers on, not viewers, more likes on Facebook, like, because I think 2,000 is the next, or no, I think once we get to 1,900, I'll do a giveaway. So I'll probably give this away for that, unless somebody wants it. If somebody wants it, put $10 or whatever in our whatchamacallit, in our PayPal, or what you think this thing's worth. It's worth 18. No, where's the price? $17. It's $17. So $10, give us $10 and I'll mail it to you if you want. If you put that, you just send a message with it and I will mail this to you if you want it. Otherwise, I'm going to wait to give it away for a giveaway once we reach, like I said, 1,900 likes on Facebook, or we reach like probably 200 subs on YouTube. So yeah, anyways, strong buy. I'm going to get into the actual books now here. Okay, so Superman Action Comics 1001. This is $3.99. It is Brian Michael Bendis doing it. We have Patrick Gleason, and then I want to say Alejandro. Patrick Gleason is art. Alejandro Sanchez is colors. Josh Reed is letters. So he's wearing the shorts. He's wearing the underoos on the outside pretty much. It's a classic outfit. It's legit. I like how it's also he's dealing with the fires going on. That whole thing reveals itself. The whole fire thing that's been going on in the Man of Steel. If you haven't been reading it, this continues here, as well as the gossip stuff that's going on with Clark and why Lois is gone. And so this lady's like, I'm going to release the story of what happened. I'm going to gossip about it if you don't tell us. And so finally he's like, fine, I'll tell you what's going on. So it's pretty solid. It's like a first issue, but not a first issue at the first time. So that's what makes it the most confusing about it, is that it's really just a continuation of the Man of Steel miniseries here. And so because of that, if you haven't read that, it will be somewhat confusing. And then this buildup will not be that great to you of this revelation of the fires going on. So, which was pretty cool and pretty interesting. I give it a buy. I'll give it a buy. It looks really great though. It really it looks superb, phenomenal. Like the colors are killer. That's what really does this in. But the whole thing looks fantastic. Next is Batman number 985, and it is Hill. Philip Briones is art, and then I want to say Adriano Lucas as colors. Yeah, Brian Hill's a writer. So this one, we just have Batman, and he's like, I need to jog my memory on who this karma person is. And then it has a flashback, and he reveals like when he used the toxin on this guy, and he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, now I remember this person. So the Bat team has been benched by Black Lightning, and they're fighting him. And he's like, all right, show me what you can do. Show me how he needs help and stuff, And so it's pretty crazy. Karma's getting pretty nuts, calling out Batman and stuff is what's going on. Alfred has a chat with Black Lightning, which is really great. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really interesting. I like it a lot, and we'll see what happens next. Are they going to help him? Or are they not going to help him? What's going to happen? That's my timer. So it looks great. I like it a lot. I will say Bruce is drawn. I thought it was Dick Grayson, honestly, because of the way that Bruce is drawn. So that was confusing. He looked too small to me and young. That's my only tiff with the art. Really, everything else looked superb. Well, I don't know. Barbara didn't. I didn't know Barbara, but anyways. Yeah, there's minor tiffs with the art. So this is another one. I'll give this, I'll give it a buy. I'll give this one a buy. I really like where it's going though. Batman doing detective stuff, as well as just this team, Black Lightning leading this team of Bat crew. So yeah, bye. Oh man, this book, Punisher 228. It's the last of the series. Matthew Rosenberg, writer, artist, Guyon Villanova. Colorist Lee Lowridge, Claude Petit is letter, and so you have a little face-off with Iron Man. Then there's a big face-off later, and but he does go to fight and take on. He wants to take out Zemo as well as Hydra Cap. Hydra Cap is still alive, so he tries to take them both out, and so as he also has to fight Ghost. So it's a really intense fight. It's really awesome. He does mess up Ghost as well as Zemo. and he's trying to kill them all, and he is really, really duking it out with Stark. That's the thing, is Stark holds back a lot, but then Rhodes shows up and he's like, dude, you're in my armor, you need to get the F out. Like, and he calls. That's what I love about Frank, is that when you talk to him like a soldier and you call him like by his rank and everything, he automatically like flips that switch and he's back in like Marine mode. So this book is just so well written. I think the same crew, at least those same writers, are going to be continuing, but it's going to be a #1 series because obviously he's not in the same armor. Great conclusion, great wrap up, and I can't wait to see more. I hope he really does get Zemo. I hope he really does kill Hydra Cap. That guy needs to be gone permanently. Not Zemo. Zemo's a great villain, but I hope he messes him up more. So yeah, strong buy-in contender. I'm tempted to hold on to this code because of how good it is, but I'll give it away anyways. Here's the digital code: 3, T for Tank, Q for Quasar, D for Delta, E for Echo, L for Logan, O for Oscar, 191, G for George, C for Cable. Next is Moon Knight number 197. It is the same creative team. We have writer Max Bemis, penciler Jason Arrows, inker Guillermo Ortego, Matt Mia is colorist. We have this group. They're all telling their different stories about like why they're sadists and stuff, like why they're part of this group and stuff. And then you have this guy that's wearing like a hood and stuff, and he takes it off and he reveals, oh, it's Moon Knight. Hey, I'm here because I love causing pain to you guys. Like, it gets me off, you know. That's why I'm part of this group. And then one of the other hooded people come out and they go, hey, thanks for coming, Mark. You know, you belong here. And he accepts them. And this is a callback to a previous arc and a previous issue, not the one directly before it. So it's pretty nuts. And I can't wait to see the next issue. Here's the biggest thing. I was really bored for like the first half of it with everyone telling their different stories. I was really bored. It didn't get interesting until Moon Knight showed up and was like, hey, but you needed that other stuff to lay it down. It's really unfortunate they didn't find another way to make it more interesting and appealing to suck me in. I don't know if it's the writing. I'm starting to think it's the writing because they've used different artists, and the way that it's done is the first part is very boring, or the first half is very boring because it's a lot of exposition, and then you get to the Moon Knight stuff, and the Moon Knight stuff is killer. But before that, I stopped reading this so many times because I was just bored out of my mind, where I was like, don't care, you know. And I'm glad I kept reading because it turned out to be really good, and I can't wait to read the next issue. But this is a very hard-ish book to gauge because of that. It's like, oh, half of it is I don't care, and half of it is, oh my God, this is freaking awesome. You know, it looks great all the way through. So I'm really starting to think it is the writing that's doing this, where it's like, hey, way too much exposition. Let's find another way to just pack it in there a little quicker. So it's like, instead of like half the book, let's go, you know, one page or one panel, you know, thing across and do it short. I don't know. We need to find another way because I was going to drop this book, honestly. Had I not kept reading it, I would have dropped this book. I'm glad I kept reading because I can't wait to pick up the next issue now. And that's the thing, is I go like, is it going to be good? I don't know if it's, because even the previous last 2 issues, I was like, they were all right, you know, but interesting, and parts were cool. I don't know. So yeah, this is conflicting for me. So this is going to be a hard thing for me to grade, but I'm going to say that it's on the weak buy end. Because of that fact. Like, I'm sorry, but like, even though the second half is stellar, your first half is boring me. You got to do something about that. And that's been a few issues, you know, are like that. Anyways, here's the digital code: S for Senor, G for Gloria, 9, M for Marcos, 1, S for Senor, U for Uganda, X for Xavier, Z for Zorro, K for Kilo, P for Pedro, X for Xavier. Next is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 84. It's $3.99. We have story Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, and Tom Waltz. Tom Waltz is script, Dave Wachter is art, Rhonda Pattison is colors, Sean Lee letters. And so this is Rat King, and he's about to kill these kids, and so they take him on, but he's really powerful. So he's controlling these kids, but he's also controlling the rats. So they send the kids to go fight the turtles, but the turtles don't want to beat them up because they're kids. But then the rats come. They're fine with killing the rats or fighting off the rats. And then Leo finds a way to fight on the astral plane with him, essentially. It is awesome. And then they send Mousers to go take on the rats. And they do distract and stuff. And the Flyborgs, yeah, it's just so cool. And the revelation at the end is just so interesting. I love this book. It is phenomenal. It is brilliant. It's fantastic. I love this series. This is hand down one of the greatest series that is running right now. Also, partially because it's 84 issues. It's been going nonstop for a while. It is consistent. It's consistently great. The way it looks, the way it reads, the way the characters are written. And that's the way things should be done with comics. And that's it. Strong buy and contender. Next, Flash number 51. It's the Flash 4 epilogue. It's $3.99. It is Williamson, Joshua Williamson. And then we have Collins on art, and then Guerrero, I want to say, on colors. These pages feel like classic pages. I love it. So this one, it's just Iris talking about this thing, how she knows about the past. In the future, she's having some memories, you know, the things she loves about Barry, the things she loves about Wally. You know, Wally's just running and running and running. He's trying to break the barrier so he can go back, you know, and get back into the Speed Force. He can't. He tires himself out, you know. They're like, hey, you just got to do that. And then be like, when he comes out, you know, be like, all right, we're going to do this together. We're going to work together. We're going to figure things out, you know. So that's essentially what that is. It's weird, though, because they do take him away because they're like, yeah, he's a threat and stuff. And then they have this weird-looking Batman at the end even. I don't know. He looks weird as hell. So, yeah, Scott Collins was the artist. Luis Guerrero is colorist, and Steve Wan's letters. It's the epilogue. It's just wrapping everything up. It's interesting, but slightly confusing at the end, too, because I'm like, why are they taking him away? It doesn't entirely make sense. So, yeah. I liked the art for the majority, except for that Batman at the end, and then just like certain minor parts. So I'm gonna give this. I feel like it's a buy. Next is Old Man Logan number 44. It's Ed Brisson as the writer, Juan Ferreira as the artist, Cory Petit is the letterer, and this is like part 2 of Bullseye, and he's like hunting down this lady. He's not actually hunting down Wolverine, but he is killing people associated, you know, that were involved with like kind of ruining his rep or whatever. So Bullseye's trying to find out where this lady is, and she's looking for people too, so they're both like kind of like tracking towards each other, and that's what goes on. And Wolverine's like, lady, you need to quit taking your mask off. And she keeps on taking it off, but it does stop the action usually, which the action is awesome, is intense. They do fight again. You know, Bullseye does mess up Wolverine, and of course, you know, there's this other stuff going on. Glob Herman, you know, is going to help. So yeah, it's really cool. It looks phenomenal. It's really interesting. I like it a lot. So I'm going to keep on reading it. So I can give this one a strong buy. Yeah, I can give it a strong buy. It looks really great, and it's really interesting. I like it. So here's the digital code. T for Thomas, 9. T for Thomas. B for Bones, 9 for Bones. R for Rage. J for Jack. P for Pain. R for Rage, 6. I for Icarus. F for Frank. Now it's Aquaman number 38. It is Dan Abnett as the writer. We have artist Riccardo Federici, color artist Sonny Go, letters Steve Wands. And this is the conclusion. So and it specifically says in this that you should read Mira, Queen of Atlantis #6 before you read this. Now, I didn't pick that one up. I didn't see it on the shelf, so I didn't realize until later that it was out this week. But anyways, I connected the dots. I figured it out because I have been reading it, and I was like, okay, cool. So you see that come into this. Dolphin, is helping fight too. I really like Dolphin. She's cute and she's really nice. But Mira shows up with her army from Zeeble and stuff, and they take on this guy and they fight him together, and it's pretty epic and it's pretty awesome, and they're able to defeat him. Of course, there are ramifications to that, and you find out what that is at the end, which is pretty huge, and I love it. I love the idea. I think it's amazing. I think it's brilliant. I think it's great that they're moving things along and changing things up. So that being said, I definitely can give this book a strong buy contender. It looks gorgeous. It looks awesome. And just the way this thing is worked along the side of with Mira and stuff, you don't have to read it, but it's better if you do. I wish it had a digital code. Unfortunately, it doesn't. We should harass DC about that. Strong buying contender without a doubt. Great conclusion and mind-blowing ending. Another DC book, it is Batman Beyond #22. It is $3.99, and this one is Dan Jurgens' writing. I want to say Will Conrad is artist, David Barron as colorist, and Travis Lanham as letterer. This one picks up where it left off. There's a huge horde of people attacking Batman. They think he's a monster. Even the police, Barbara Gordon, all attacking him. He's trying to get away, but he doesn't want to hurt them. And Batman, or Bruce Wayne rather, gives a new suit to the new Robin. It looks wicked. It looks so shui. It's ridiculous. And he shows to help out. And actually, Batman, he's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. You think I would think opposite, but yeah. And so they work together to get away. And you get the backstory too of who this person is that's causing this. And they're connecting the pieces and stuff, like, because it has to do with Batman's past. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really interesting. I like it a lot. It looks superb. This is a phenomenal book. This is a great series. I love it. I can give this one a strong buy and a contender for sure. On to Teen Titans #20. This is Glass it's Adam Glass as the writer, Bernard Chang is the artist, Marcelo Maiolo is colorist, Rob Lay is letterer. So this one, it is Brother Blood and his whole group that he has going on, and it's this new Teen Titans, which is, I didn't know this, but they have the daughter of Lobo in here. They added this in here. This girl, she's like a wizard or something, but she's stuck as a little girl. Flash, and then this new kid, this like heavyset, like kind of like cannonball, I don't know, character. And then Red Arrow. So it's a decent team. I feel like you should read the special to know what's going on, but then they added people to this team too. There's Roundhouse, he's new, and like I said, that other girl and stuff. What's crazy though is the ending, that what Robin does with the villains, what he's been doing with the villains that they've been capturing and stuff. He has his own thing going on for him. It is crazy and it's interesting. And I like the new bass and stuff. It's darker. And then kind of, it's darker, a little more lighthearted in some ways, but darker. Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know if I'll probably give it another try. Like, I won't say I hate it. I definitely don't hate it. I definitely don't. It looks great. It's interesting. I think it's weird, the Lobo girl and then this other kid, Roundhouse, and this other girl, like these like characters that are unknown. I don't like that. I don't care for. I mean, the one I probably like the most is the daughter of Lobo, but the other two I do not care for. Why couldn't you come up with have some better people join your squad? It doesn't make sense to me, and that's what I didn't like, and so I will look to see the next issue if it'll hook me or not, because this wasn't quite enough. So I can give this one, because it doesn't look bad. It actually looks really great. it's just I don't really entirely care for this team. I like Damian, I like Flash, I like Red Arrow, and I kind of like Lobo's daughter. But so that being said, I feel like I can settle on like a week buy. Time for a commercial break. I'm going to be talking about one of our sponsors, which is Twin Suns Comics and Games. They are located at 6301 Riverside Plaza Northwest, Suite L1, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87120. If you want to call them for anything, you want to reserve something, there's a graphic novel, that's the thing is you should get a box with them. They have this great subscription service that you are always guaranteed to get what you order because it is in a flip book. Like they give it to you, it's in your box, and you fill it out. You put your name in there, you put your info, and you select all the stuff you want, whether it's mostly comics, but there's also clothes, there's figurines, there's statues, there's clothes, there's manga, there's a lot of stuff, Funko Pops, whatever, you can find it in there. And as long as you put on, you'll get your 15% off. So, and same thing, like I think if they put in your box, they'll probably give you 15% off for it too. So call them at 505-433-9490. If you have any questions, or if you want to throw something in your box, you have any questions, they're also super hardcore about their tabletop gaming. So they are open from usually like from 11 to midnight. Today for Sunday, it's 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., but usually it is open to midnight because they're with the tabletop gaming hardcore Magic. They have Friday Night Magic. They have HeroClix. They have Warhammer. They have all this stuff, really hardcore, really awesome. So definitely check them out. Give them a call. Or you can go to their website at twinsunscomics.com. They're great guys. I love talking to those guys, chatting about shows, comics, movies, whatever. They're always on the up and up. They really know their stuff when it comes to the games and the comics and everything that they have there. They're not, like sometimes you'll go to these places and they're selling stuff and they'll be like, I don't know anything about it, man. Or there's, like, oh yeah, ask this other guy, like they're, and oh, he's not here today, whatever. Like there's just, that's not how they are. They would know their stuff on all the stuff that they sell. So, and that's the best guys you want to do business with. So check them out, find them on Facebook. They have the directions and everything like that to get there. It's phenomenal store. So check them out. Let's get back to these books because I got a lot more, peeps. I have Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing in Human Torch number 8. It is Chip Zdarsky as the writer, and then I want to say Ramon K. Perez as the artist, and then Federico Bli as color artist. So this is continuing with the same art. I don't know. It really worked in this one because they're just like regular people in this town now, and they've lost their powers. They're just living normal lives, but they're also still, they found this universe's Amadeus Cho, and he's trying to contact their friends and stuff like that to find them. And this is the one where the Thing actually comes clean to Human Torch, and they have a throwdown, and it's messed up. It's really crazy. It's really emotionally intense. And, there's even this lady that the Thing flirts with, and stuff. And he's like, well, dude, why don't you just go for it? Like, before you look like a freak. I mean, he doesn't say, he's not that mean about it, but he's like, you look that way. You wanted to look normal, and now you look normal, and you won't take your chance. So you really should. Phenomenal issue. Really great. The art really works with it and for it because it's dark. It's gloomy. It's not pretty, and it's just that's their situation, their world, and it went well, and it was perfect. And same issue as last time. For art, I believe, but this one really, really worked. It was really emotional. So this one definitely deserves a strong buy and a contender. I'll give the digital code away anyways, though. R for Richter 9, V for Vegeta, K for Kilgrave 616, 0, M for Marvel 76. Now it's Venom number 4. It is Donny Cates as the writer, Ryan Stegman as the penciler, J.P. Meyer as the inker, colorist Frank Martin. And this one is just the whole backstory of like essentially like this god. He's kind of like Dracula. It's also the origin story of the first symbiote, where the symbiote is actually pulled from the Celestial through this, like through this other god, and he corrupted it. So it was originally corrupted, and he just, and you know, and you just get the whole backstory on it, and that's what this is. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's really crazy. It's pretty nuts. I want to see where it goes because it's really solid and it's really interesting. It looks phenomenal the whole way through. It's pretty nuts. The art is really crazy. So yeah, that's what it is. I can give this one. Oh man, I can give this one a strong buy. Now it's time for Hunt for Wolverine Mystery and Magic Report number 3. Writer Jim Zub, artist Tony Silas, color artist Felipe Sobiero, letter Joe Sabino. I think I actually skimmed this one first because I was like, oh, let me see if it's going to be worth it. Now, the art is a little weird. Like, there's some stuff that they show, and I'm like, okay. But this one, it's cool because this one goes into Domino and Wolverine's connection. And that was really cool. You find that out, or you know, you get into it and stuff, and then it continues with Domino. She has this guy hostage. They're finding this information. There's this person that's like, hey, to these people, go through with this. This person, if you know them well enough, you know they're controlling this girl. They're doing this thing and stuff. Pretty much they all attack at the same time, even Magneto and stuff, and they stop this one lady. She has these cybernetics. You find out that's why she's as powerful as she is, and you're like, okay, crazy. So this is just getting better and better. I really like how it's going. I'm interested to find out what comes next because something is coming next pretty crazy. So yeah, it's going to be cool. Once again, like the art, I don't know, there's things that bug me about the art, and it's not bad, but it's just like slightly off-putting for me. So I want to give it a strong buy because it's so interesting, and it doesn't necessarily look bad. It's just bugs me. So that being said, I'm still going to leave. I'm going to leave it with a buy. I'm going to leave it with a buy, but here's a digital code. Q for Quasar 02, I for Iceman, B for Bravo, H for Hotel, T for Tank, 6, G for Glory, 8 for Alpha, 3, V for Victor. Now I'm going to get into Star Wars Lando Double or Nothing, number 3. Lando Calrissian is the writer. I mean, what? No, Rodney Barnes is the writer. Paolo Vianelli is the artist. Andres Mosa is colorist. And then we have Joe Carmagna as the letter. And I actually skimmed this one too, and I was like, okay, this looks like it's going to be legit. So, yeah, this guy, this little guy, like, is bullying Lando, and then they're like, this other lady, she's back in this prison, and she's like, hey, let's rally our people to break out. And they're like, nope, I'd rather live than try to fight for freedom. So it's really crazy. Lando does get out, and he has an exchange of words with his robot, and she has words with him, and then they end up putting him like a Coliseum type. You know, his partner comes to rescue him. He does a pretty good job of fighting off these people, and it's pretty cool. I like it, and he ends up working it out and showing how good of a pilot he is too. But it looks like the Empire has caught up to them. So yeah, I liked it. It's really cool. It's really fun. They feel like they get the voice right of Lando, especially the Lando from the Solo movie, which I thought was Lando. You know, like freaking what's his name knocked it out of the park, Childish Gambino, or you know, what's his name. So it has knocked it out. I liked it a lot. The art's really fun. It's a solid series. I'm liking it, and they're just upping the stakes, it seems like, every time. Yeah, it started slow, but with each issue, they're upping the stakes. So they got some prime stakes coming up next. So I can give it a strong buy. Here's a digital code. F for Falcon, C for Cable, M for Millennium, 4, G for Glory, H for Hell, R for Revan, P for Palpatine, R for Revan, D for Dagobah, B for Blast, X for X-Wing. I suck at that. I'm sorry. Now it's Multiple Man number 2. This one is writer Matthew Rosenberg, artist Andy MacDonald, color artist Tamara Bonvillain, Travis Lanham is the letterer. And so he's right now in the past. There's like these weird versions of him, and then he steals this thing to go back into the future, 15 years into the future, and like into this messed up future where like he's the ruler and there's all these multiples that rule and stuff, but he's there to stop him with this weird crew. And then they go into the Resistance, which is this kid that's leading the Resistance, and Forge, which is just like a head in this thing, and then the wife of Jamie Madrox and his kid and stuff, and they're like, all right, we're gonna take care of business and stuff. And yeah, it's and then he just like, yeah, let's do this, and it just ends up being like a complete and utter failure. I don't know. Like, I really liked the first issue, and then this one, I was just like, this is really just nutty and just not. I don't care. I don't know. Like, I just don't care about the characters that much, and like I don't care about like time travel too, because I'm like, oh, all right, well, this doesn't matter. Whatever. I don't care. I just don't care. So I kind of want to get the second issue just to see if it gets better, because I want to care, especially when I liked the first issue so much. This one was just like, okay. I feel like Matthew Rosenberg is pretty solid, so I think he'll get better. But right now, it's just like, I don't know. It depends on you, I guess. So, but for me, this issue is probably like, it's a weak buy for me. I'm sorry to say. Here's a digital code. X for family, C for cable, M for Marvel, 9, A for Alpha, 99, X for X-Men, V for Victor, W for Wolverine, M for Marvel, 3. Now I have X-23 number 2. It is writer Mariko Tamaki, artist Juan Cabal, colorist Nolan Woodard. Corey Petit is the letterer. And this one, I don't know. This one, I won't say it's predictable because it's not exactly the way that they do it. Something happens to one of the Cuckoo sisters, which I thought was dead, but they brought her back. And then, like, you know, Laura's like, I'm going to go track this person. And then she's like, Honey Badger, go work on your nunchucks. And yeah, so she does track down and then goes to that chapel that they were at before and stuff. Honey Badger's there, you know, to help her. And yeah, and then the Cuckoos are there to do stuff. It's pretty crazy what they do with somebody. Yeah, with yeah. So yeah, it's just nuts. The Cuckoos take something away from Laura, and it's pretty crazy. So it looks phenomenal. It's really interesting. I like it a lot. I'm definitely going to keep reading this book. It's really great. Kind of bugs me that they changed it back to X-23 and then it's not all new Wolverine. I really wish she would have kept that title, even with Wolverine coming back soon. That bugs me that they didn't. But I don't know if it was due to sales or just because he's coming back or what. But you know, hey, she's X-23 again. What are you gonna do? So, but I like it a lot. So it's a strong buy. I can say that it's even a contender. It looks phenomenal. Great use of color and just everything. So. Here's a digital code. 93 Z for Zora, F for Familia, R for Rigoberto, 08, A for Alamos, 9, Z for Zoro, P for Pedro, 1. This book is Shanghai Red number 2. It's Joshua Hickson, art, colors, cover, and then Christopher Sabella as script and design, and then Hassan Otsmain El Hau as letters. So this lady, she comes back to her home and she finds this letter of these people, you know, that her family essentially I think her husband and her daughter and stuff, they had left because they were kicked out and stuff. And so she's looking for them. She thinks they're dead. And so she goes and she deals with the people that sold her into slavery, essentially, which was really awesome and really epic. That's what I love about these series, like an indie series. You don't know when they're going to kill off the main character, like straight up, flat out. You're like, I don't know if they're going to live. So like they put them in some rough spots and you're like, this person's dying or this person's going to die. And they just keep on upping it, and it's so realistic, and it's really great. In the end, I do think she does find out about her daughter, but I'm not sure that she may be still alive. So she kind of has a reason to like go back to her old life, sort of, or live, but things are different. So I love it. It's really great. It's really dark. It's really interesting. I definitely need to add Shanghai to my list for sure. It's definitely an add now, because I was like, should I put it in right away? I don't know. The first one was really good, and the second one, and I'm like, it's consistently good. Yeah, it's a strong buy contender. Now, this book is The Century #2. I wasn't sure about it after reading the first issue, which is weird because it's written by Jeff Lemire, and then the art is Kim Hasito and Joshua Casara, and then color artist is Rain Barredo Tras Lanham. So he no longer has access to this thing to get into this pocket universe, and he's trying to get a hold of Stark, and he's trying to get a hold of Doctor Strange. He can't get a hold of either. He even goes to this guy that used to be his partner, but lost his arm. And then even Misty Knight shows up, attacks Bob, and is like, hey, we got to deal with you. They put him down in this prison down underground, and Stark talks to him, and he's like, dude, we can't be there for you all the time. Like, that's the thing. This is why we did this. And he's like, well, time's up. So he turns into the Sentry, which also releases the Void, as well as everything that was going on in this pocket universe. And you find out somebody else is pulling the strings. Somebody close to him has actually stole the that device he was using. So this issue, I still don't care for Bob, but this book has really intrigued me. I'm in. It's not quite an ad for me yet, but I want to see where this goes for sure. So I can definitely say it's a strong buy. I can definitely say it's a contender, because from going like, oh, I don't know, it's all right, to being like, oh my God, this is blowing my mind, crazy. I have to see what happens next. That's a strong buy and a contender. It looks phenomenal. And I think the art is even better in this one somehow. And yeah, stepping it up. Here's digital code anyways. E for Echo, H for Hotel, X for X-Men, I for Icarus, N for Nova, 2, G for George, 9, F for Fantastic, M for Marvel, F for Fantastic, 0. Now it's time for Justice League Dark #1. It's $3.99. We have James Tynion the fourth as the writer, Alvaro Martinez Bueno as the pencils, Raul Fernandez as inks, Brad Anderson colors, Rob Lay letters. And we have Zatanna. She's using magic, and it goes haywire during her show. Wonder Woman shows up to help her fight it, and she was like, magic's all messed up. You should join me, because she wants to create this group that fights magic or like deals with magic and stuff. And even Constantine shows up and is like, hey, I know you're going to this little get-together or whatever, that they kicked me out because they know I'm a dirtbag or whatever. Everyone thinks I'm a dirtbag. But guess what? You can't control your magic and stuff, and all you guys are all messed up, You need to figure it out. And Wonder Woman's just like in this bar because she's trying to have her own meeting with the with that monkey chimp, Detective Chimp. And there's also the man bat, but he's like part man and just has the bat head now. But he can turn into full bat, like if he uses his serum. They even talk to Swamp Thing. That gets pretty crazy and pretty awesome. And yeah, so anyways, they're fighting these things that are coming back from the dead, monstrous deal. So I'm not entirely sold, but like I said, I give a 2-issue try. The art is pretty solid. I don't know about this crew. We'll see. I really don't care about Detective Chimp. He seemed all right, in this. I do like Swamp Thing. Don't care for Man-Bat either. Wonder Woman, always great. Zatanna, also great. But I don't know. I feel like it's missing something. And hopefully they deliver on it in the next issue. If not, I'm not going to continue getting it. So, yeah. This one, I can give this one. It's a weak. It's a weak buy for me. Now on to Infinity Wars Prime #1. Gary Dugan was writer. Artist, Mike Deodato Jr. Frank Martin is colorist. Craig Petit is the letter. And yeah, so we have Loki, and he's like, hey, a lot of this stuff is messed up. It's not how I remember it, in the library of the Asgardians and stuff. And she's like, yeah, stuff's changed. And he's like, I want to find out how. Then we have Doctor Strange and Warlock, and he makes like a tether to go into the Soul Stone, and it's all messed up in there. So he's like, nope. Don't want to have anything to do with it. This thing's all messed up. Things are different. Thanos is like, I'm going to go get my stones, and somebody shows up, and I don't want to spoil it because it's pretty nuts, and you're like, oh, okay, like, all right, we'll see how this goes. I don't think so. I don't know who this person is. I think I know who this person is. We'll see. We'll find out. But I'm not sure who it is. I have an idea of who I think this person is at the end. This is really awesome, crazy ending. But how could you? I don't know how you could do this at the same time. So it is nuts. It is nuts to me. But it looks phenomenal. It's definitely intriguing. Blows my mind. Strong buy. Contender. Here's digital code. M for Marvel, W for Wesker, F for Fantastic, C for Cable, 6-2, G for Glorious, 9, Q for Quasar, Z for Zarbon, Q for Quasar, M for Mankey. Now this book, it is Mirka Andolfo's Unnatural, issue #1. It's actually been released in other countries. Writer, artist, and colorist, Mirka Andolfo. Color assistant, Gianluca Papi, which is Arancia Studio. Then lettering and production, Fabio Amelia, I think, which is same studio. And so I actually skimmed this. It's a #1. I skimmed it. I saw the cover and I was like, I think my wife would like this. I skimmed it and I was like, I definitely think my wife would like this art. And it's really, I didn't know that Mirka Andolfo was a female. Now I know. And so that makes this make sense a lot more, sort of. But it's cute, but it's weird and it's interesting. It's okay. So essentially it's this animal society, right? Where it's these humanoid animals, right? And it's the society, though, where you can't have cross-species relationships. That's illegal. It's bad. It's frowned upon. It's like kind of like religion, with same-sex stuff. So, but the government also is like, once you're past 25, you have to like breed with your own species. They set you up with a partner. And she's like, it's her birthday. She's turning 25. She's like, and so she's having this sex dream about this like wolf guy, and stuff. There's nudity in here, and it's weird because this girl's like kind of like a pig girl, but she has female looking anatomy. And I don't know, it's really good. It deals with real life issues. That's really, I love this stuff that's like satire, and it's satire of our own world, and yet at the same time, like, it's exaggerated, but it's very similar and very familiar stuff. Like, for example, there's a part in this book where her boss, they have these new outfits, and it's like schoolgirl outfits, or it's a Lolita cafe or something, right? She has to have that job because she can't afford it, and that's things, they raise taxes on you if you're single, and anyways, so her outfit doesn't fit because she's thicker than the other girls. And the guy's like, he's sexually harassing her. He's like, well, either you need to lose some weight or you can come into my office and we can, discuss it. And you're like, ugh, and you're like, that's real shit that females deal with. And then, like I said, she gets an email at the end going like, hey, we found your perfect match, so we're going to set you up on this date. So Yeah, it's really interesting. I can't wait to get the next issue. I like it a lot. The art looks phenomenal. The story's super interesting. Strong buying contender without a doubt. Now it's on to Mr. and Mrs. X #1. Kelly Thompson is the writer. Oscar Bazaldua is the artist. Frank Diarmata is colorist. Joe Sabino is the letterer. And this one is interesting because if you didn't read any of the X-Men Gold stuff, you're not behind. They still catch you up on the wedding of Rogue and Gambit, and that's what this is. A lot of what happened leading up to the wedding, the after the wedding and stuff, which is them, and she wears like a power dampener collar so that they can get it on. Woo! And so I just love their back and forth. Kelly Thompson just knows how to write their back and forth so perfectly. And it's so cute and it's so adorable and it's so funny and it's so hot and it's so cool. And then like Kitty Pryde's like, hey, we need help with the mission and you're the closest ones and nobody else is available. Can you help us? So they go and they help and things turn out bad and it's nuts and it's awesome and I love it. This is an ad already. I already know it. It's strong by its contender without a doubt. Yeah, it looks absolutely just perfect and it's just perfect. It's a perfect book. It really is. It's like it's #1. It's a great #1 and it's superb. So it's strong by a contender. I'm gonna hold on to this digital code just because it might be runner-up or B-Val. Cool. Next is The New World #1. It's $4.99. It's a very thick book, super thick. Lots and lots of pages. They also have like an extra thing at the end though that's unrelated. But anyways, the writer is Alescott, artist Trad Moore, color artist Heather Moore, letterer Clayton Cowles. Anyways, so this takes place where they're like, oh yeah, all these bombs went off, all these nukes went off, things are all messed up. And so this is the new world and they're taught, and this takes place in New California. And California being California, it's all about viewership, right? It's all about the Hollywood style stuff. Anyway, so what happens is there's this girl and she's in this like armor and she's essentially like top cop. She's going down, but it's like cameras following her. She's going to hunt somebody down and then they vote on whether to kill the person or save them. And she never kills them. But then like the guy that's above her, he's slightly more popular because he kills people. Then you see this kid who is, he hacks into this building, and stuff. And so they make him the enemy #1. But this guy and this girl, they end up hooking up. And she's like, holy crap, they're going after him along with that other guy. They're teaming her up with that other guy that kills people because she doesn't kill. And they're going to go after this guy. And she's like, oh my God, I hooked up with that guy. He's watching it. And he's like, oh my God, I hooked up with that girl. And now they're going to hunt him. And his dad's about to watch that show where they're going to go hunt him down. So it is, oh my God, this art is mind blowing. I saw this and I was like, this is a match made in heaven right here. Like these two are perfect for each other. And because it's just nuts. And this extra stuff is really great too, but completely different. So this book is super thick, totally worth the money. $5 is a steal for this. This feels like a graphic novel. This is great. I loved this. This was brilliant. This is phenomenal. This is a strong buy and a contender without a doubt. Last book, X-Men Grand Design Second Genesis, #1 by Ed Piscor. He's the cartoonist, Chris Robinson, editor, whatever. So this one, it feels like the classic paper and stuff. This is essentially just the retelling of the Uncanny X-Men run, leading it's Dark Phoenix, all that stuff, that whole build up, Moira McTaggart, her son, all that stuff, the Lalandra, Shi'ar, all that stuff, in and out, the Hellfire Gang, all that stuff going on. And, that's essentially what this all is. And it ends with essentially the first death of Phoenix. I'm going to say that. So that's what this is. It's really great. This is in a league of its own. It's very different from a normal comic. It's really only summing it up, but it's really well done the way they do it. I still have to say that none of these have lived up to the greatness of the first one, which was done the best. So it's hard to. It's still strong by and it's still contender. It is completely in a league of its own, as most of these last books are that I'm talking about. So, but like I said, strong by contender for sure, without a doubt. I don't know. I want to back and bag this. So I'm going to say that this is probably JD's B-Bow or runner-up. So I'm probably going to be back and bag that anyways. But there's really only 3 books that come down to the most likely to be the top choice, which is these 3 books right here. Mr. and Mrs. X #1, Unnatural #1, and The New World #1. Crazy that it's all #1s. So, whew, man, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and cheat. I'm going to go ahead and cheat that, that Mr. and Mrs. X and Unnatural, they are a tie. I'm going to do a JD thing and cheat and go, these are both my runner-up or runner-ups right here. That it's a tie. And that New World is my back and bag of the week. I feel like I've pretty much already said why. So I'm just going to go ahead and give the code away for Mr. and Mrs. X because I don't care to hold on to these things anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and give that code out. But yeah, here's the digital code for Mr. and Mrs. X. 1, R for Richter, L for Logan, 0, H for Hector, D for Deck, F for Fantastic, W for Wolverine, Z for Zabrak, 1, P for Penance, D for Deck. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you got some comics. Hope you enjoy those comics. Tell me what you think of them. Anything like that. Like I said, I have that book, The Batman. If you want it, go ahead and send me $10 or just wait until we get enough subs or, more likes and I do a giveaway. It's up to you. And if that's the case, then you have to help us get more, subs and likes so that we can do a giveaway. So for that stuff, if you want that thing, because it could be like first come, first serve for graphic novels and stuff like that for giveaways. Anyways, and I'll mail them out to you. So that's it. That's it for me. Tell me what you think, So we're thinking about making the Talking Nerdy its own podcast, separate. Like it'll probably all be one live thing, but audio, it's going to be one separate podcast. But right now I don't have time to edit these podcasts, so I'm just putting them out raw. So thank you to our sponsors, Gamers Anonymous, Twin Sons Comics and Games, as well as Age of Comics. So thank you to them. And you can find all of our stuff at TNTMTheShow, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube, all that stuff. Like I said, there's slowly going to be stuff coming out. I'm working on some Guardians of the Galaxy trivia right now and stuff like that. I've just been playing some Mass Effect on Insanity. I'm slowly making progress, as well as playing Gears 4. More on, more stuff like that. I think I'm close to beating or getting close to the end of Gears 4. I'm also close to beating Mass Effect, the first one on Insanity, and then I can move on to Mass Effect 2. I'm pretty jacked about that. So I've been working on those while I'm working on content. Anyways, I'll shut up now. Thank you for watching, and keep your ojos hungry for comics.